All right, so the recording has started. Jay, I'll turn it over to you. You can start whenever you'd like.
Good morning now. We'll be going into the afternoon today for our session here with Leanna Altman, and she's the director of the Rhinebeck Public Library, and we're so glad she offered to present today. So she has a real understanding of the value of our libraries and likes to promote it to her intended audience. She's very good at using all kinds of different strategies to do her marketing. I've saw it all firsthand from the get-go, so I know you're going to have a lot of good ideas here. And she's good about saving money, reusing things. It's a small library, but a mighty library there in Rhinebeck, though. So she's really growing a lot of programs. So I'm very excited to have her here. And she really loved moving over to the library field. So I think she's got some great stuff. So thanks, Leanna. So glad to have you here if you want to get started.
All right. Yes, thank you for having me. I hope you're able to see my screen. Good to go?
Uh-huh.
Wonderful. All right. Yes, like I said, thank you for having me here today. My hope is that libraries will continue to be seen and utilized for all the amazing things that they bring to our communities. Like you said, I am Lena Oltman, and I am the director of the Rhinebeck Public Library. Rhinebeck is a little town of 1,600 people with a big community heart. I say it again and again, Rhinebeck shows up. The timing that I stepped into this library was really fun. I am a librarian that specializes in programming and marketing. And I stepped into a town that was thirsty for new ways to engage as a community. I have learned through personal and professional experience the impact that a fresh coat of marketing paint can bring new life to a program and to a library. This is an example of our 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. I rebranded and relaunched the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program here in Rhinebeck. I looked at the past stats. They had one kiddo complete the program in 3 years. We changed the structure of the program and picked a design to brand the program, and then each milestone that the kids met was an opportunity to get others excited about the program. We give nominal prizes for every 100 books, and then we post a picture on our social media, and our newspaper likes highlighting the kids monthly. In 1 year, we registered 57 kids. 8 of those 57 completed the 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. I'm sure some of you are thinking, but we can't afford that. Once you brand something, it becomes very versatile. It's a lot easier to get people on board with a put together fancy branded product. I got a grant to fund this program and many other in the first year, and now I have a sponsor a reader program. So you can see up here, these are actually stickers that I created from the design, and it's $25 that goes into the last prize, and I get people to sponsor each kid through the program, which covers the majority of the cost. You start with a brand and then you grow it. Marketing matters. In my past, I worked for a senior living corporation as a marketer. It turns out I'm not competitive enough to survive in sales. But I really, really loved being able to find the gems in every community and be able to highlight and promote to those that would benefit from what I was selling. This gave me firsthand experience of the value of building fruitful relationships and learning how to promote and highlight what makes the facility be appealing to the person, family, or partnership I was selling to. I have worked in a library with 3,600 person population and had a lot of fun seeing the impact a little marketing can do to affect their online presence and their in-person culture. We bring so much to the table as libraries, and unfortunately, without proper marketing, it ends up being a secret that we keep to ourselves that we desperately want to give to our patrons. I mean, it costs the same to get a library card no matter who you are. How many of you have suffered from the no-show woes, or even worse, when one person shows up to the program and all we can say is why? And then it never fails that someone will see or mention your program after they say they would have been there. They would have been there if they just saw it. As much as I would like to tell you today that I'm going to give you tips, tricks, and practices that will result in you never having a no-show program, or someone who will tell you they wish they would have seen it, I can't. No matter how much you market, someone will inevitably tell you how you could have done it better. However, I have created some standard marketing practices that are always changing and evolving, but at their base are what I need to know that I did what I could do to promote a program. I'm always open to change, but I also don't want to feel defeated based on a disappointing attendance. I want to learn from it and not drown in it. Did we miss the mark on interest? Did we use the wrong avenue when we promoted to capture the audience that we wanted? Is the timing of the program not suitable for the intended audience? These are productive questions that I was able to ask myself once I stopped doing hit and miss marketing and started developing a rapport with my patrons in person and online. Once they began to familiarize themselves with our library, and once I began to create marketing routines that they could rely on, I started to see the culture change. I am the only full-time employee in my rural library. I have part-time coworkers that overlap with some of my hours, so I'm able to step back and focus on marketing when I need to. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm hoping that it gives you the "you can do this" that you need to hear. No matter the size library you are, you can create your own marketing plan that works best for you and your community. It will look completely different than mine, and what works for mine and what works for mine may not work for yours, because you know, or are going to get to know, your people, and I know my people, and continue to adapt my marketing tactic to meet the needs of my ever-changing patrons. What I am sharing is something that is attainable and adaptive to all time constraints and budgets. In this session, we'll be talking about Canva, Meta Business Suite, schools, senior living, businesses, newspapers, flyers, and more. Don't hesitate to share in the chat. Jay and Becky will be keeping an eye out for input. TGFC. Thank God for Canva. I am not sure that is a thing, but it should be. This was a game changer for me, making marketing easy. Most everything I'm going to talk to you about does not have an expense outside of time. And our most valuable source is time. And Canva saves you time. However, I do pay about $119 a year for the Canva Pro service. And in my opinion, this is a no-brainer expense. You can there is a free Canva that you can use. It's just very limited, and I prefer to use the Pro for how I use it. First things first, do you have a logo? You need a brand. You need to establish a logo that represents you as a library. Take your time. Over time, your organization will go through rebranding. However, the longer you can keep utilizing a good logo, the better. This will be a way to instantly help your audience recognize you. This is the logo for the Rhinebeck Public Library. They will soon recognize any and all library things by seeing your logo. Create your logo through Canva. Scroll through the many, many logos, and remember, every aspect is available to edit. Any logo design you pick is just a launching point. Play around with it, change colors, fonts, etc. Once you have a logo, you have the beginnings of a brand. With our logo, I have established a color scheme to recognize our library with and a font. In this case, I used our logo to create a flyer about the Rhinebeck Public Library. We coordinated the colors and font to establish that this is the Rhinebeck Public Library brand.
Leanna,
I
can you just real quick, we had folks talk about two things. One, that there's a nonprofit version of Canva out there you can order. You can get it. It just takes time to get it. So maybe we could search for that at some point and put it in the chat. Do you have a good idea about tutorials? I know we talked a little bit about that yesterday about how people think you're an expert. How did you what did you find out there?
Honestly, there's so much resources out there, and the program itself. So I did apply to try to get Canva paid for our library and was denied. But so if somebody is able to get it as a library, please contact me. I want it too. But yes, you were correct. There is a nonprofit option to get funding for Canva. So the Canva itself has tutorials within it. So anything you click on, it will have how to change the sizing. But most of what I've learned has been through trial and error. I'm happy to help. There are lots of YouTube videos out there of tips and tricks on how to use it. But again, the more you use it, the more you'll know. What I knew 4 years ago working with Canva, and I laugh at it. I'm like, really? That's all I did is slap a picture and a created design. It's very user friendly. Just don't be intimidated by it.
Someone's asking if you go back and look at the logo for a second. Can you just go back one slide, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your logo.
Yep. So this is the Rhinebeck Public Library logo that I created from Canva. I started out with a design and added to it and adjusted it to be something that reflects Rhinebeck Library.
Excellent. Thanks.
This is the Grundy County Library Association's logo. I was not a part of that, of the GCLA when they created it, but I did use it to create this flyer that we used on Monday to go in front of the county supervisors to ask them for more money for the next fiscal year. So it's just a great way to present them something that's put together that shows library services and shows what your library can do when you work together. And again, you can see with this one, I coordinated the colors to their logo. This is a programming flyer that, again, I use the Rhinebeck Public Library logo to coordinate to the flyer. Now, you do not want to, or do you have to use your colors in every flyer? And contrary to the first few examples I have shown you, I do not recommend using your colors in every program flyer because I don't want them to begin to all looking the same. But it is nice to use every now and then to establish that brand. So this is the first program that I talked to Jay about that Jay got a little bit excited about, was our Serene Study Session. So this was our idea to highlight all that Brain Fuse does. If you are not using, I know this is not a part of our talk today, but if you're not using Brain Fuse in your library, come talk to me. It is the best thing in the entire world, not just as a librarian, but as a parent of a high school student, a middle school student, and an elementary student. Not so much the elementary student, but when they've come home and needing help, I use those live tutors all the time. They're available from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. There's my plug. Use Brain Fuse. Because of Canva, I'm able to put these flyers together in minutes instead of using any more time than is beneficial. This, like I said, is our Serene Study Sessions. We set time aside in our schedule to have quiet time in our library to encourage people to use our amazing Brain Fuse resource. We get, as you can see, these cookies, and this is actually hand sanitizer wipes. We get bulk donations from people and our local food bank and sometimes local churches. I use some of these as a way to market our library and programming because we just as handouts. The hand sanitizer wipes, I've taken those to marketing opportunities as giveaways. And these are stickers that I edited on Canva and put on as handouts with our library contact information and hours. Our county library association gave each library a huge box of hand sanitizer bottles, much more than I could use at our library. So I went ahead and put a Serene Study Session sticker on each of them and gave them to each classroom at the schools at the beginning of the school year. What did this cost me? A couple sheets of sticker printing and an hour of my time to meet each teacher face to face and let them know that we see them and we are there as a resource. And bonus, even when I'm not there, until they run out of the hand sanitizer bottle, then our little marketing sticker is a reminder that we are there. Building relationships. What can we give and what can we get so that we can both gain? This is one created first as an Instagram size flyer. Canva has what they call a magic switch. It resizes whatever design you are created. It resizes it to the size you pick. So, like I said, this was Facebook, Instagram size. Then I resized it to a Google form header size. And then I again resized it to be, I do 2.5 inches by 1 inch to be a button on my website. I also printed an 8.5 by 11 sheet to be able to hang up in areas around town. So resize is great. I'm taking one design, I'm resizing it to fit the need and using it multiple times in multiple different ways. This is another example.
Can I just ask real quick, how do you do with your QR codes? Do you think those are successful? Were those pretty easy to set up on there? Sometimes
yes,
people.
Canva, I'm so glad you said that because yes, Canva does QR codes. I love them. And I think later on in the slides, I have a marketing kit, and one of those is a frame with our hours, and there's a QR code on there, and it takes people right to our website. And when I had at our last back to school open house night, I had a volunteer with me doing tallies of how many people came up to our table. And for that night, we had 257 people. And so many people would just come up, scan our QR code, because for that, we were promoting our new K-6 reading program, and our registration was on our website. So I said, if you're wanting to sign up, go ahead and scan the code. It's under reading challenges. So I do think they're very helpful. And Canva is a way you can make it. You go under elements and then type in QR code and it makes it for you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is another example. I took one design. I made an 11 inch by 8.5 inch flyer. And then I love stickers. I have a pack of stickers that are 4 inches by 2 inches, and I put them on everything. So I created a template so I can swap out my design for anything. It makes it very easy to work with. And so I made my sticker sheets, and I took my stickers and I had these plain Jane bookmarks for our reading challenge. But then I put my sticker on the back. So no longer is this a plain Jane bookmark, but it's a personalized branded bookmark. So much fancier, right? And easy. One design repurposed.
Yep. Someone's asking if these are Avery labels or stickers.
Okay, so the 4x2 ones you can get through Avery. The current pack that I am using is not by Avery, so I can't give you the coded number. But I got it through Amazon. So, and you can, with Canva, when you're resizing a design, the nice thing is when you scroll it to resize, it'll say the measurement. So you can get it to the exact shape and size you want for your sticker size. It's Very convenient. I use the 5160 Avery labels for a lot of things as well, and I can show you later on in the design. I use the Avery website sometimes too, so it just depends on what's your convenience. Okay, you can see with this one, we made the bookmarks new. We used, this is our drawing jar. We used it to label our drawing jar. So why? Why does it matter that it's branded? Well, it instantly gives our patrons the ability to know what they are looking at without having to put themselves out there to ask. So many people miss out because they don't know what they are looking at and they don't want to ask. Well, with this, they're looking at the flyer that maybe is set up on your desk or the slideshow that's off to the side that drew their eyes. And then they see that same design on the gift basket and their brain goes, oh, I bet they go together. And that helps with the conversation to get signed up. They are already clued in. So where to start? If you put out a monthly calendar already, then you're ahead of the game. This is my to-do list for my marketing plan. Once my calendar is ready, I am ready to go. This is one way to build a relationship with expectations with your patrons. This is how they can get invested in your library. This is one of many ways to let them see and know what to expect in the month to come. This is an opportunity for them to arrange their calendars around what they want at your library. This is the first of many attempts to clue in and remind your patrons of what is to come. You are going to tell them what is happening and remind them again and again. Create a deadline for yourself to have your library calendar done. What does this look like for you? Are you posting your calendar by the 20th, by the 25th, or the day before? Perhaps don't have any programs that are new and not ongoing in your first week if you're going to post your calendar the day before. Otherwise, it would seem pretty reasonable to have a no-show for a program that you did not tell anyone about until a day or two ago. You need to give people time to see you, and you need time to get people excited.
So someone's asking, you did make those calendars in Canva. You can do that way. Is there any other process to that? Or you just, do you have a template? How does that, does each month have one?
Canva there are some of them that are just the template of a generic month. But then there are calendars where you can type in 2023, 2024 calendars, and it'll be 12 of them that you can go in and edit. I found a design, of course, that is one of the ones that is just a generic template. So I go in and edit mine each month, but you don't have to do that. I am just very picky about design. And when I find one that I really like, it's hard for me to walk away.
Do you post the calendars or do you?
Yes. Ideally, I would love to see. I would love to see people post their calendars, and we're going to talk about what to do on their Facebook, about pinning it and stuff, and we'll get to that. But yes, post those calendars, print those calendars, have them available at your front desk, put them, hang them up at your city hall, hang them up at the local gas station. Where are people talking and seeing things? And you're also going to do flyers on top of that, promoting individual, but people like calendars because they like to see where it all fits in with their month. They visually, I've tried doing like a list of events with dates. They want to see the activity on the day as where it fits in their month. At least my patrons. Again, yours are going to be different. Okay. We have talked about Canva, and honestly, we could have weekly hour-long discussions on all of Canva. Like I said, I have friends in different fields that use me for Canva often and ask for tutorials because they are constantly learning something new. However, I have a few more things on our agenda to share with you today. So we're going to move to Meta Business Suite. This is a great way to get organized online for your Facebook and Instagram posts. I love it. I choose to use our logo as our profile picture. So you can see I plop my logo in there. I change out our cover photo. So this photo back here, I change that out frequently. I really like that by keeping your profile picture as your logo, it's a way for people to see you, and anything you do online has you easily recognizable as your library. So if I comment on something, or if I follow another page, or if I share something, at minimum, they're gonna see my logo behind whatever I've written. So my personal preference, I think it's important to have your logo be your profile picture, and I don't change ours. The to-do list. I function best with to-do lists. As you can see, down here, when I click on comments, it gives me a to-do list so that I can stay connected and current, because interaction gains you traction on your page. I use this to make sure I'm interacting with patrons. So I click on my to-do list and it pulls up every comment, and I reply or like feedback. This gets your page more traction and lets your patrons know this is another avenue to connect with their library. I get a lot of book holds on this as well. However, setting healthy boundaries, this is very nice, because if you have it on a device that you can see when you're not working, of course, you're getting alerts or comments, and you're like excited, people are engaging, and so you want to respond right away. Well, we have to have lives outside of our amazing jobs. So the to-do list is really nice. So I don't have to remember what I might have looked at. I can go back and follow up. And with the to-do list, you actually will check off. So even just looking at it doesn't take it off your to-do list. It's still there until you mark it as completed. And I really like that for being able to handle it when it works for me. All right. Hashtag trending. This is a great example of what can happen with a little online marketing. This started with a patron recommended book. This is The Grace Year. And for those who are already excited, wanting to tell me how awesome it is, that's all I've heard about this book. This patron came into our library raving about this book. It is important for you to know that this book has sat on our new release shelf for 3 months. And I know that we know about marketing our shelves, you know, having the 3 up top facing out so that it doesn't overwhelm our brains. This one has been on there. It has been there facing out. Then it moved to our YA bookshelf for some more months, until a patron finally picked it up and then brought it back and raved about it. We took the book, snapped a picture with the recommendation, and then it started a conversation. Oh my gosh, this book was so good. If you have any other similar recommendations, let me know. Then look at how quickly it became a hot read, hitting all the to be read lists. Put me on this one. Add me to the list. Add me to the list. If we weren't on presentation, I could keep scrolling. So it went from literally no checkouts to being one of the longer hold lists. And look at that little unofficial book club we have happening. Marketing Mondays planner. If you went by my posts on my pages, you would think that my 24/7 hour job is putting up content. It is not. I utilize the Meta Business Suite planner to take content that I have prepared in my drafts and schedule them out. Personally, it looks like Mondays for me. I go in before we open, and so I have some quiet time. And that's when I load up my content. So you'll see over here, we've got drafts. And then I load up drafts just by taking pictures through Meta Business Suite. anyways, for my patrons, my content looks like book synopsis for new books. My practice is every new book I'm ready to process and release, I first take a picture using the Meta Business Suite camera. I save it to my drafts. That way I'm able to create a lot of individual content. I also use Brain Fuse's marketing materials and load them into my drafts. I use Libby's marketing materials too. You have these resources. Don't waste time creating all of your own content from scratch. I use these to load my planner. Okay, the best times that currently work for me are 6 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. at minimum. So this is about the times I schedule posts out throughout the day. Then I go back and I schedule my programming posts to release immediately, and then throughout the month to remind patrons as time goes on. So this is scheduled post. This keeps my page active at all times. And then anything I do on top of that is a much needed bonus without the pressure of needing content on an empty page.
Okay, Leanna, we got,
can be.
yeah, people are
ahead.
typing in. The times you said was 6 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m.
That's what works for us.
Okay.
So when you start using it, it'll keep track of data to see when your users are looking at your page at the most times. So yours might be different than mine.
Okay, so what's the Meta Facebook camera? Someone's asking that.
Yep. So it's really nice. So you can have it on a tablet, whatever is convenient. Instead of taking a picture and then loading it onto your page, I find it more efficient to take a picture using the, you go to hit post. I find it more efficient to hit the camera within the pending post. So then I don't have to remember to load it. And I do one after the other in that process. So then I can get 15 books loaded up without doing anything I didn't mean to or putting the wrong content. That's what works best for me.
Okay, and your recommendation cards, what do you put on your recommendation cards? Can you talk about that quick?
Yes. So we've done similar things throughout the year, but this is a newer one that we threw out, and we're kind of using to go in line with our adult winter reading program. We just put them out about a month ago. But it's just, I know that some libraries have the clips that they clip notes to their books. We just had the resource of index cards. Some librarian before me had bought a lot of index cards. And I thought, this is a great way to use them. We use them as bookmarks. We took a Canva made sticker, put it on there. And when a patron comes in raving about a book, we pull keywords and write them on the book. And then we have a bookshelf right now display that's reader recommended books. And so now that we are making that a part of this month's display and culture, it's just feeding one after another. And so when they go over there, it's nice to see someone will write on there, couldn't put down, fantasy, romance, 5 stars. So it's coming from the patrons. Patrons either fill them out on their own or we fill it out for them. But we already have the index cards with the sticker on it.
That's awesome. Thank you. Do patrons sign their names or not really?
They get really nervous about it. I would love if they would own it. I'm like, do you know what? Then you could have a book club, or you have a friend out there who reads pretty similar to you. But no, they don't have to. It's just a way for them to recommend a book.
Do you do individual synopsis? How do you do that? Do you put descriptions on the books you put up? What do you do?
Yes. So what our patrons really like is they're looking for convenience. And when we first started, we were really dependent on traction, on hoping somebody randomly sees a post. Now we've been doing the books with the synopsis every time we release them and scheduling them out. They're coming in and scrolling our page because they want to see and quick, oh, that book looks good. Then they read the synopsis. So fantastic fiction is a great way to grab a bunch of those. We just plug that in. And then they get a quick to see what it's like I could take a picture of the back of the book, but then they would have to click on another picture. And they want quick, fast, convenient to get hooked. And then that's when they usually will either call us or comment, oh, put my name on this one. Anything else?
Other than they want to do more classes, that's the problem. You've bought yourself more work here. So
I know. I said Canva is just so, I mean, it's so much, and I love it.
You're gonna hire you away. Yeah.
So there's going to be a full Canva class. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my schedule. Okay, so I go back to my schedule, my programming posts. Again, you're going to remind these people in different ways, so it keeps being fresh. Let's see. I know this can be overwhelming. I get it. This is why I said I use my calendar as a launching point, because when I think of all the things I intend to do to be able to get the word out, it overwhelms me. Oh, I have to make the design for this, this, and this, and then I have to make da, 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 da. Don't get overwhelmed. It starts with one practice. Make it a habit and routine, and then you add on. Do what works for you and your library. I have seen libraries succeed at posting pictures or videos of all of their released books at once. This works for them. My library patrons want to be able to see an individual book and be able to read the synopsis as their interest is piqued. One book and a pile of other books without a description is not what works for them, but works fantastically for others. You just have to find what works for you and what works for your patrons. And I'd rather you pick up one habit than just think this is out of reach at all. Okay, pin the post. We kind of talked about this a little bit. You might be wondering, won't programming posts get lost and buried with that much content going out on your pages? Yes, that can happen. And you want your patrons to be able to easily access whatever it is they saw on your page that they want to follow up on. With Facebook, not on Meta Business Suite. So what I've been talking to you about is going on Meta Business Suite. That is different. Currently, with Facebook, you have the ability to pin up to 6 posts currently. I am constantly switching up the posts. So do you see where it says featured and then managed? You can have 6 posts at the top of your page that don't ever change unless you change them. So like whenever somebody comes to click on your page, they're always going to see those 6 first. I am constantly switching out these posts. I like to prioritize programs that require a registration. It is also very important to keep your websites current and your Who-Fi calendars matching your posted materials. If they can't find it quickly on your Facebook page or Instagram page, their next step will be your website. And if it's too difficult, they will likely see it as too much of a hassle and give up. Okay, so to sum up regarding programming, I create and print my calendar. I share my calendar and pin it as soon as possible. I then work through my calendar and design graphics as needed through Canva. I then share them on Meta. As the event nears, I will send it via email to the appropriate audience that I have for that program. I will share it on the 2 local info groups that I joined on Facebook. And then the day before the event, I put it on our story. So in your towns, I feel like they're everywhere. You'll have a parents group. You'll have a local in the loop, in the know group. Find out what those are and ask them if they would be okay with you joining to let them know of what's going on in the month. I have 2 of these.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You didn't know how much you're going to say. Can you real quick go back? There's a little bit, people are kind of wondering about, there's Meta is the parent company of Facebook. So the Meta Business Suite, we keep talking about that, and it's like, that's not something different. It's something inside. So if that's a clarification, yeah.
So Meta Business Suite is your way to schedule, create posts for both Instagram and Facebook at once. I don't like to do work twice. I get bored quickly. So this is a way that you make one post and you schedule it scheduled out in one area. The reason why I'm bringing up Facebook separately is I really like the pinned post option, and it's a newer feature, but you can't do it through Meta Business Suite. Again, this is how you'll operate out of. You have to do it through www.facebook.com. Hopefully that makes sense.
Okay, I don't want to take up any more time because we have about 10 minutes, Becky's saying, so I want to make sure you get to the content you needed at the end.
Okay, all right, I'll keep going. Pin your post. Okay. A look at life at your library. This is a line we created and used to showcase snapshots in the moment of life happening in our library. Reminding people that our library is much more than books on our shelves is important to your community and to our community. It is real life happening and thriving. These posts are a huge hit for our library. These posts get the most engagement for us consistently. I do not do these ahead of time. I take them and post them in the moment or shortly thereafter. Consider any interaction like this as bonus content. They are not edited, they are candid, so it doesn't take a lot of time from me. No prep wasted. You already know the program you created is going to be awesome. Otherwise, why in the world are you doing it? You have put the time and energy into prepping and setting up the program. Snap a picture of it and post it as another way to get people excited. I have had people come to a program last minute because they didn't realize how cute it was until they saw the pictures. Whatever gets them there within your time and budget constraints is great. In this instance, it didn't cost me anything, but a minute of my time while I was setting up to just snap a picture. If you're doing an art class or anything, I have found I get a lot more signups after they see the example of what I made. So this is a children's art, but the one I'm thinking of was a canvas art class, and we did button painting. And that once they actually saw the finished product, then it was, oh, those are beautiful. I have to have that in my house. So your prep matters, and letting them see it gets them excited. Community partnerships. Good community partnerships benefit everyone involved. Let's start with the schools. Our elementary and our high school forward programming flyers through their email for us. We are very aware of the gift this is, so we are sure to use this resource wisely. I simply save a JPEG, so an image of the design, and a PDF image when I download of the programming design in the email that I send to the school secretary, and then they forward it onto the appropriate grade levels. Examples. I have a STEM Explore after school program. They send it to the K through 6th grades. I have a Teen Perler Beads program. They send it to the middle school and high school. I generally use this for after school programming to remind parents to come to the library after pickup. All right, now that we have a brand, we have what we need to build a marketing kit. I have a tablecloth that coordinates with the colors in our logo. This tablecloth cost me a total of $20 for a one-time purchase. I did not get one that is branded, and if I was working in sales and marketing, they would have their own runner and cloth. I didn't do that. I decorate it with my frames, with my flyers, and I make sure my designs are what stands out. We go to school conferences to promote library resources and programming. We have handed out cookie bags for our smart cookies that go to the Rhinebeck Public Library and telling them to have a great year. At conferences, we promote different aspects of BrainFuse as well as our reading incentivized programs. We have a book club that is for grades 9 through 12 that has books given by the library and was run collaboratively by the teacher and the librarian. We run this once a month at the school in the classroom during their free period. We do summer reading promo kits. I love summer reading promos. We have done them 2 different ways. One year we went to the elementary and they gathered the entire school and we did a funny and informative and interactive skit to get kids excited to register for summer reading. Last year, we had kids come to class and come class by class and did the skit at the library. Pros of doing it at the school, it was a one-time thing. It is pros of doing it at the library. For some kids, it's the first time they have been to the public library. It is done in smaller groups, so Q&As are more productive. Con, you are doing the skit for what feels like 15 bajillion times, but this is our preferred way, and the teachers love the field trip opportunity. Senior living communities are great partners. We deliver books monthly as well as do quarterly programming at their communities. The directors that I have worked with here are more than happy to print flyers out to give to the residents. And if it is a program that we would need registration for, they are great about helping residents sign up with the technology. Businesses support small businesses. Their return investment always proves to be good investment in my experience. Small business partnerships are a great way to keep funding in the community, and we both benefit locally from marketing each other. I have found small businesses that I support to be very charitable with their time and resources. If you ever want to reach out, I have a couple programs that we have used small businesses for that were low cost and really great. I have not spent money on newspaper advertisement for our community. The cost does not outweigh the benefit. However, good content sells their paper. They love stories and pictures and articles that get people wanting to have their own copy of the paper. I give the paper content and they give me free exposure. So thank you. I hope that our time spent together has given you some ideas or fan the flame to spur you on to rebrand and relaunch something that could use a fresh coat of marketing paint. I hope that you can see that a marketing plan is something that is attainable regardless of your time or financial budget, and that all of our marketing plans will be unique because each of our libraries are special in their own way. It is our job to not keep all that our libraries are and do a secret. Our job is to find just the right way to get our libraries into our communities. Like and follow our page as well as many other libraries so we can continue to be inspired by one another. It's not stealing if it's hashtag trending.
Fantastic, man. Thank you so much. And I don't know if you saw, there's too much chat in here, but it's lots of, they loved a lot of your phrases. So yeah, you know, I think you've got more presentations you'll need to do now. I don't know. And don't get hired away by Brainfuse or Canva. That's the other problem we're gonna have. You're doing too much work for both those companies here today, so they should be paying you. It's excellent. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much. And you know, yeah, please reach out, like her page, and I'm sure she'd love that. And yeah, just remember, we have the link to our the session conference website there. Becky put it right in.